What's up guys, and welcome back to another Modern Warfare video. In this video I'm going to be going over all of my controller options and settings because I think my controller options and settings and everything about my controller is a little bit more unique. I've been playing around with that a lot. And why don't we just get right into it? So I've got a match set up right here, a custom game match. There's no bots, I'm just gonna go into it and show you guys exactly how I move around and what buttons I use for what and why I've changed everything the way I have. So I'll meet you in there and let's start going over all of my controller settings. Okay, so now that I'm finally in game, I can start going over all of my controller settings. So these are my controller settings. So first off, I like to flip my L1, L2, and R1, R2. So normally with the stock settings in this game, you would be aiming in with L2 and shooting your weapon with R2. This is how it's been with like the past few COD games. I think it might have started with Advanced Warfare. I'm not quite sure. I know that game definitely had it. But the old school way, how I'm used to it, how Call of Duty used to do it, was L1 for aim and R1 for shoot. These buttons are actually a lot better. They have a lot less travel time than L2 and R2. So I definitely, if you aren't using L1, R1 for aim and shoot, then definitely flip those and try your best to get used to it. It really isn't that hard, and the responsiveness of these buttons are a lot better than L2 and R2. So definitely go ahead and flip those because those are a lot better buttons to use as aim and shoot. Second off, I actually like to use tactical, which puts my crouch prone and slide button to R3 and my melee button to circle, so I can actually slide and crouch and lay down without needing to take my thumb off of my analog stick, so I don't have that brief moment where I'm not. Wow, actually just press circle. So I don't have that brief moment where I'm actually just not touching my button at all, so I can keep my aim moving as I'm keeping my movement around. I can always have my aim there, so if I really need it. If I'm sliding and there's someone around a corner, then I can already have my sights up and aiming at them. So I think that having R3 as your slide button and crouch and prone is definitely so much better than circle, and I highly recommend using that on your controller. Second off, I actually recently switched to bumper jumper. So what this does is it moves your jump button to L2 and your tactical equipment button is X. This is a little weird having X as your tactical equipment, but it is such a better payoff to actually have your jump button on L2. So you don't have, so just like the crouch and slide and prone and everything like that, you don't actually have to take any fingers off of any analog sticks or anything. Your aim is always there. So again, this is definitely highly recommended, and it is great that they have a bumper jumper and a tactical kind of combination button layout preset for you. So I use bumper jumper tactical flipped, which has L1 and aim1 as aim down sights and fire weapon, L2 as jump, R3 as crouch, prone, and slide, circle as melee, and X as use tactical equipment. I think that this is probably one of the most optimal controller button layout presets that you can actually have, because honestly, I never take my thumbs off of my analog sticks. My fingers don't really need to move around the controller that much, especially in Warzone when I'm putting on armor. Me personally, I like to play claw, and I actually recommend that you do. My finger kind of sits around in that area. I'm not always playing claw 24/7. My finger isn't always clawed over to all the face buttons. But whenever I need to, then I can just kind of stretch my finger over a little bit and hold triangle to put armor on. Moving down to my stick layout preset, that is default invert vertical look. I don't like to invert at all. My horizontal stick sensitivity is currently at 14. Same with my vertical stick sensitivity is also at 14. Me personally, I like a higher sensitivity, but my recommendation is to just try to work towards a higher sensitivity. Get used to the sensitivity that you currently are using, And then once you have done that, then maybe bump both of your senses up 1 or 2 each. But 14 for me definitely works. I know eventually this will start to feel a little slower again, and I might bump it up to 16 and even 18, but me personally, I just like a faster sensitivity overall, so I can turn on people and get my aim to where it needs to be as quick as possible and be as snappy as possible. My ADS sensitivity multiplier for low zoom is at 1, so it's basically no change. My sensitivity is no change at all. It just it is a little jarring having like such a fast regular sensitivity, and all of a sudden like you're just super slow right here, and you can't like, I don't know how to explain it exactly, but it messes me up a lot of the time. For medium to longer range, it does get a little bit more difficult to actually keep on target and track and stuff like that. So I do actually recommend 1, but if you want to bump it down to like 0.95 or 0.90, then definitely do that just to have a little bit of a slowdown. But because if you're running a higher sensitivity, then yeah, it does get a little difficult. But me personally, I'm actually fine using all that. My ADS sensitivity multiplier for high zoom is 120. I might actually change that. So my scope sensitivity is a lot faster than my actual sensitivity. I might actually bump it up a little bit even, but I actually do recommend that you have a higher scope for high zoom sensitivity. Especially if you're sniping a little more closer range, then it is a lot easier, a lot better to have that faster aim down sights sensitivity and snappiness to the sniper rifles. My aim response curve type is linear. I think this is definitely the best. It is literally just raw input from the stick, nothing added to it, no sort of weird input curves or anything like that. For the controller vibration, I always turn this off. If you watch any sort of controller settings videos, every single person will probably recommend to have it off. The vibration usually just screws you up. Having the vibration on usually just screws you up. I only ever recommend having vibration on if you want a more immersive experience, if you're playing like campaign or anything like that. But for a more competitive environment, just having the vibration off is so much better. Going over to the aim assist, if you are mainly sniping or mainly like a sniper type of person, then I kind of do recommend leaning more towards focusing or precision. But me personally, even as a sniper rifle type of guy, I use sniper rifles all the time. I still just go for standard. It is easier just to have the one aim assist type, so I can get used to it and use it on sniper rifles and regular ARs and weapons like that. Moving down to weapon mount activation, I do ADS and melee. You can do whatever you want. I know some people double tap their aim button, or double tap ADS, or just straight ADS on a corner or whatever, but that's just whatever you like. Same with weapon mount movement exit. ADS behavior should be hold, equipment behavior should be on hold, use reload behavior should actually be contextual tap. So if you are able to actually get used to holding square or whatever your reload button is to reload, then definitely put on contextual tap. I know this is a little bit not necessarily buggy, but more annoying because you end up picking weapons up off the ground when you're wanting to reload your weapon. But if you can get used to holding square or whatever your reload button is to reload, then definitely put on contextual tap, because this makes opening doors, opening chests, using a bunch of different things a lot easier by just tapping square instead of holding it. Going over to your slide behavior, this should be on tap. I don't know why it would ever be on hold, but tap is so much better, just easier to use, so tap is better for your slide behavior. Auto move forward, I like to keep this disabled. I mean, if you want to have it on, and if you're running across the map in Warzone, which honestly, if you're running a great distance, but I don't even ever think you should run a great distance in Warzone unless you absolutely have to. You should always use cars to rotate over long distances. But if you just cannot find a car, you got the storm pushing you or something like that, And if you ever find a situation where you need to have the auto move forward, like you have to let go of the controller for some amount of time, it shouldn't be too long, ever. But if you ever need to do that, then put on auto move forward, but I definitely recommend having it off and having your hands on the controller at all times. Now this is a different, a little bit of a different thing. This was another setting that was, that's actually from Fortnite, which is automatic sprint. So, I know this is a problem. This has been a problem for me with controllers in the past, and it is a problem for a lot of other people in their controllers, where their sprint button actually kind of gives out. And let me see if I can. Yeah, it kind of just stops sprinting, or sometimes just doesn't want to sprint for most controllers. If you actually turn on automatic tactical sprint, all you have to do is just push forward on the stick and it just automatically sprints. If you have this on tactical sprint, then you will tactical sprint like all the time and you will be as quick as you possibly can. And I just think this is a better option to have on overall because it makes you a lot quicker, a lot speedier, so you're running around everywhere. And for the people who are saying, well, so what if you want to sneak around a person? I mean, you're going to be stomping around if you're running around constantly. Just ADS walk or crouch walk. Because regular walking like this, it is a little bit more difficult to do on a controller. You have to barely press forward. Because if you press a little bit too much on it, then it just starts sprinting. But even if you are walking this slow, then people still can't hear you. So just crouch walk or ADS crouch walk or ADS walk, whichever works for you if you want to sneak up on anybody. But yeah, always tactical sprint, always being able to tactical sprint and everything like that is just a lot easier, and it's a lot less wear on your controller when trying to sprint. So that is all of my controller settings and just how I use my controller in Call of Duty in general, and just what I think is the most optimal controller setup for multiplayer and Warzone. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like if you enjoyed, hit the subscribe button if you are not yet subscribed to the channel and you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next time.